Hello everyone, welcome back to Review and Rate. Today, we're entering into a world of Indian history and skilled explorers. That's right, we're going to drive around this huge area and take down soldiers to talk about Uncharted The Lost Legacy, a game developed by Naughty Dog and released in 2017. If you're a fan of action adventure, puzzle solving, and interesting characters, you won't want to miss this review. Now, let's witness a bombardment and get ready to enter the world of Uncharted The Lost Legacy. The gameplay of Uncharted The Lost Legacy is just like Uncharted 4, really great. As expected, the gameplay is almost identically to Uncharted 4, featuring the same core gameplay mechanics, including combat, stealth, climbing, puzzle solving, driving, and plenty of over-the-top cinematic action sequences. However, what makes this game different is its much shorter length compared to Uncharted 4. Because of this, the game focuses more on delivering fun gameplay through exploration, combat, and puzzle solving without feeling stretched out. At the same time, its shorter runtime makes it feel less like a full mainline entry and more like a standalone side adventure. There are also plenty of stealth sections throughout the game, and I actually felt there were more of them than in Uncharted 4, which I really enjoyed since I like stealth gameplay very much. One welcome addition is the silenced pistol, which I felt was missing from Uncharted 4. It makes stealth much more enjoyable because you can quietly eliminate enemies from a distance without immediately alerting everyone nearby. Sadly, you still can't hide enemy bodies to prevent other enemies from becoming alerted. You also still can't run manually, which can be frustrating when you have to travel through long sections without a vehicle. While this isn't as annoying as it was in Uncharted 4 because the levels are generally smaller, I still would have preferred the option to move around faster. You also get access to C4 explosives, which are really fun to use. Placing them near enemies and watching them react before the explosion goes off often leads to some funny moments. C4! Chloe's lockpicking ability is another nice addition. Throughout the game, you can unlock certain boxes by completing a small lockpicking puzzle, and you're rewarded with weapons that can be useful during combat encounters. I don't know if this feature was present in Uncharted 4, but your teammate can also mark enemies for you if you haven't spotted them yourself, making it easier to keep track of enemy positions during stealth sections. In terms of level structure, the game consists of only 9 chapters. As I mentioned earlier, The Lost Legacy is much shorter than Uncharted 4, so its chapters are also considerably shorter than the 24 chapters found in that game. Early on, you go through a stealth section in an Indian town where you silently take down soldiers, which was a fun way to introduce the gameplay. There are also a couple of fist fights throughout the game. You fight normal soldiers near the beginning, followed by a rather boring fight against a Sav that reminded me of the Nadine fights in Uncharted 4. Later, you have another final fight against a Sav, which is better than the first one but still not particularly enjoyable and can be a little frustrating. The game also features an exciting over-the-top chase sequence where enemies are shooting at you while you escape, making for a very engaging and thrilling action set piece. After that, you reach what's probably the longest section in the game, a semi-open world area where you drive around in a vehicle and travel to 3 different locations marked on the map in order to progress forward. During this section, you can also collect tokens scattered around the map. If you collect them all and place them in a specific location, you're rewarded with a treasure tracker that notifies you whenever a treasure is nearby. This is a really cool reward that makes finding treasures much easier. I really enjoyed collecting all of these tokens on my first playthrough. Each one requires you to solve a different puzzle in order to obtain it. One puzzle that especially stood out to me involved placing weight on a rope to open a mechanism and retrieve the token. I thought it was a really creative puzzle, and it took me quite a while to figure it out. During this same chapter, you also get to solve some excellent puzzles that involve progressing by moving through statues that block your path, along with several other creative puzzles that require careful thinking. I really enjoyed solving every one of them, and some of them took me a good amount of time before I finally figured out how to progress. After that, you go through a section where you fight enemies before taking down a tank using a rocket launcher and C4, which was a really fun encounter. You then get to ride an elephant for a short section, which was a really cool and memorable moment. Later, there's an intense sequence where you escape from handcuffs underwater and have to lockpick both Nadine's and Sam's handcuffs so that everyone can escape. It was a very tense and exciting section. After that, you fight enemies while a helicopter constantly attacks you from above. You can't destroy it completely with a rocket launcher, so you eventually have to jump onto it and take it down from there, making for another exciting action sequence. Finally, the game ends with a long train sequence, where you first chase the train using a car before jumping onto it. You then make your way across the moving train in creative ways. Use a mounted turret to eliminate enemies, fight your way through the train while trying to stop it, and later jump back onto it using the car once again. This entire sequence was incredibly intense and easily the most fun and engaging part of the entire game. I really enjoyed it. During my playthrough, I encountered a glitch where a button prompt became permanently stuck on the screen and wouldn't disappear until I exited the game and loaded it again. While it was only a minor glitch, it was still a little disruptive. I also experienced a few screen freezes in certain parts of the game. Now let's talk about the story. The story of Uncharted The Lost Legacy is pretty good. It may not be as powerful as Uncharted 4, but still an enjoyable story nonetheless. I liked learning about the Indian history featured throughout the game. While I didn't find it as interesting as the pirate history in Uncharted 4, it was still enjoyable, and I liked discovering more about it as the story progressed. I also really liked Chloe and Nadine's character development together. They work very well as a team throughout the story, and I enjoyed every scene they shared. While Nadine is definitely a much better character here than she was in Uncharted 4, where I felt she didn't have much depth, I still didn't think she's a particularly interesting character despite the improvements. Chloe is easily the character I cared about the most in this game. I really enjoyed learning about her past, especially her relationship with her father, her Indian heritage, and the motivations behind her search for the treasure. All of this made her story much more engaging and compelling. I was also happy to see Sam Drake return. His appearance was a nice surprise since I wasn't expecting him to be in the game. I especially enjoyed his interactions with Nadine, considering their history together from Uncharted 4. Their conversations led to some entertaining and funny moments throughout the adventure. While the characters are handled well, the villain, Asav, is only a decent antagonist at best. Although he serves his role in the story, I don't think he's nearly as interesting or memorable as Ray from Uncharted 4. Overall, I also don't think the story is as emotionally impactful as Uncharted 4. I enjoyed it, but Uncharted 4 explored themes and character relationships that felt much more emotionally powerful. However, despite that, I think The Lost Legacy manages to avoid filler almost completely. Unlike Uncharted 4, which as I mentioned in my review of that game, had several sections that felt like filler, this game stays focused on its main narrative from beginning to end. Because of that, I remained engaged throughout the entire story and I was never bored. To summarize, the story follows Chloe Frazer, a treasure hunter searching for the legendary tusk of Ganesh, an ancient artifact connected to the Hoysala Empire in India. She teams up with Nadine Ross, the former leader of the Shoreline Mercenaries, and together they race against Asav, a ruthless insurgent leader who hopes to use the discovery of the treasure to strengthen his rebellion. As Chloe and Nadine travel through war-torn regions of India, they uncover clues leading to a lost city while learning more about the history of the Hoysala Empire. Along the way, Chloe confronts her complicated feelings about her late father, whose research inspired her search for the artifact. Although Chloe and Nadine's partnership starts off on rocky terms, they gradually develop mutual trust and friendship. In the end, they stop Asaf from escaping with the tusk of Ganesh and prevent him from using its discovery to further his violent ambitions. Now let's talk about the graphics. The graphics of Uncharted The Lost Legacy are pretty much the same as those in Uncharted 4, which is to say they are absolutely amazing. Although this game features entirely new locations and characters. The new environments you explore are just as impressive as the ones in Uncharted 4, and you can really appreciate the incredible amount of detail that went into making them feel realistic. One of my favorite visual moments is at the beginning of the game, where you explore the city at night while a massive bombardment is taking place in the distance. It creates a spectacular atmosphere and immediately showcases how impressive the game's visuals are. The ancient temples also look fantastic, with detailed architecture and beautiful environments that further demonstrate just how visually impressive the game is. The character models are just as impressive. Much like Uncharted 4, the characters look incredibly lifelike, thanks to their detailed facial animations and realistic expressions. Chloe in particular looks like a real person throughout the game, and her animations help bring her character to life. The new villain Asav is also very well designed, with facial expressions and details that reflect his personality and intimidating presence. Just like Uncharted 4, The Lost Legacy still looks fantastic even today. Despite being nearly 9 years old, none of the visuals feel outdated, which is a testament to how impressive the game's graphics and art direction continue to be. Now let's move on to the sound. The sound design of Uncharted The Lost Legacy is really great. The voice acting is excellent, with every character delivering a strong performance. Chloe and Nadine's voice actresses in particular do a fantastic job, and their performances help you become more connected to their characters and their relationship throughout the story. Asaf's voice actor also does a good job portraying him as an intimidating villain, even though I didn't find his character to be all that interesting. The environmental audio is also very well done. Whether you're sneaking through enemy territory or taking part in intense action sequences, the sound design makes every situation feel immersive. Combined with the detailed environments, it really feels like you're inside the game's world with everything happening around you. The music is also pretty good. I really like the Indian-inspired soundtrack, and it fits the game's setting perfectly. Whether it's during emotional story moments or intense action sequences, the music always complements what's happening on screen and enhances the experience.
Yeah, keep moving. Watch out! Oh, love of God!
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Yep.
We just did a thing.
We did.
So, what's next? For Nadine or us? Take back Shoreline? Conquer the weapons trade?
I'm done with Shoreline.
Really?
Really.
However, despite how well the soundtrack fits the game's overall theme, I don't think it's as memorable as the soundtrack in Uncharted 4. You can really tell that Uncharted 4 has a much more epic and unforgettable score. Even so, The Lost Legacy still has a very enjoyable soundtrack that does its job well throughout the adventure. Now let's move on to the final section, which is the replayability. When it comes to replayability, since Uncharted The Lost Legacy is included as part of the Legacy of Seth's collection alongside Uncharted 4, it offers many of the same replayability features, which means there is plenty of content to come back to after finishing the game. These features include a kind of new game plus mode where your collected treasures carry over into your next playthrough, 5 different difficulty levels to choose from, and the ability to replay specific chapters or individual encounters that you enjoyed the most. The treasures you collect also reward you with points that can be spent to unlock various extras, including character models, concept art, and other bonus content. In addition, these points can be used to unlock render mods and gameplay modifiers, giving you new ways to experience the game and making additional playthroughs even more enjoyable. Now let's summarize everything with my overall impression. Uncharted The Lost Legacy delivers great gameplay, a good story, amazing graphics, great sound design, and plenty of replayability options. While the game is much shorter than Uncharted 4 and the story isn't quite as engaging or emotionally impactful as that game's, The Lost Legacy is still a very enjoyable experience, and I had a great time playing it from beginning to end. Despite sharing many similarities with Uncharted 4, it still manages to feel like its own adventure, offering a different kind of fun through its unique setting, characters, and gameplay moments. It may earn a slightly lower score from me than Uncharted 4, but still a really good game that's well worth playing. Here it is. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful review videos. Feel free to share your thoughts on whether the points I've raised resonate with you or if you have a different perspective, and leave your suggestions in the comments about which game you'd like to see reviewed next. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you all for watching.